So hello friends, almost 1 year before I posted a video on taxation of seafarer, our friends who work in merchant navy, and I got a very good response. That video was in Hindi, so I got quite a request from my fellow friends that I should make that video in English as well. So here, taking their request, I am making this video in English. By the way, if you want to watch the Hindi video, the link of that is here. So this video is not only going to be a Hindi version, English version. I am going to update some more question on this. So hope you will stick with me because it's going to be quite a long video. So let's begin. So hi friends, my name is CA Arun Tiwari and I'm a practicing chartered accountant, and you all are most welcome to my channel AKT Associates, where generally I talk about those subjects which have a lot of issues, especially for small IT return filing people or small, you can say, taxpayers, like notice, like they got some demand notice, their refund are stuck, or something related to that. Apart from that, the main focus of this channel is to solve all the issues related to NRI, and merchant navy people are also falling in a special category of NRIs. Now why it is a special category? Because first thing, they doesn't belong to any you can say nation. They most of time they travel in an international jurisdiction, international water, so they are non-resident, but at the same time they are not resident of any other country as well. Second important part of a seafarer, basically they know that at the end of the day they have to come back to India, so it's really good or really required for them to keep their income tax records straight. Because I can say sometime if some people who are settled abroad, maybe they will not bother to come down to settle disputes with the income tax department, and even income tax department knows that once person goes outside, it will be very difficult to catch him. That's why when you take the permanent visa, or once you surrender your passport, you have to settle all your IT dues. But in case of our merchant navy fellows, they know they are going to come back here. So this video I'm going to take questions which are you can say generally comes in front of them, and most of time they don't know how to handle those questions, those situations. So let's take one by one all the questions, and the very first question comes in their mind is resident status. And why it is important, I don't have to tell you. By changing your resident status, your taxation can change. Now if you are earning anything between 10 lakh, 20 lakh or 30 lakh, and you are going to be resident of India, almost 33% of that you're going to pay as a taxes, which is a huge amount. At the same time, if your resident status changes to non-resident, then you don't have to pay any taxes, right? So it's really a big deal. Now let me first explain how this resident status is calculated in India. What are the conditions? I will try to be very simple, very easy, as much as it can be. Again, the law is not very easy, but I will try to keep it in you can say technical word. By the way, before I start that, if you have not subscribed to this channel, you can subscribe. And before it's not about subscribing, if you have any other queries related to NRI after you watch this video, you can simply put a comment on this. But if it is a private kind of your questions or proprietary kind of questions, you can send a mail on this mail ID. So either me or my team will reply to your queries. Now if it is straightforward questions, friends, I'm not going to charge anything with that. But if there is some question where I have to do calculation or I have to do some further study, of course there will be consulting fees. And after that, if you're going to give some kind of work to us, maybe return filing or something, that consulting fees I'm going to adjust. So rest assured, the most of your consulting is going to be free here, right? So very first question comes, so what is the resident status? How I calculate my resident status? Okay, do I need to do this calculation every year? So very first question, the resident status in income tax, there is only two main resident status for individuals. First is non-resident, second is resident. After that, you can subdivide that resident and non-resident in further two categories, which I will talk later. So if you are resident, you know you have to pay taxes on all income you are earning in India and as well as abroad. If you are non-resident, you have to only pay taxes on income which you are earning in India. There will not be any taxes if you are earning something abroad, that is outside India. So, and The good news is that I have created a Google Sheet which I'm going to share with you, which you can simply download and you can do your calculation. and you can find out whether you are resident or not. That's very easy sheet. And third question, do I need to do calculation every year? Yes, you have to do the calculation every year, and you have to be very clear about that. Fourth question, generally people ask, some people ask, especially the close friend of mine, because I have many friends which are in merchant navy, and I just came this side, they went some other side. So they asked me, sir, may I ask Arun, how they are going to find out if I just declare myself non-resident? So see, one thing I tell you, that I'm not an income tax department, but as much I know, I talk to income tax officer. Even my own uncle is in income tax, and sometimes they discuss. And let me tell you, they have lots of information about you. Of course, not very private, but it is not very difficult for them to get the passport data or your CTC data and to calculate your this thing. And the problem is, once they caught it in income tax department, what they're going to do? They're going to charge the tax. Anyhow, I'm paying the tax. What is the problem then? So the problem when you are getting caught is not the tax. This is anyhow you have to pay. They will charge some additional interest also for late paying of your taxes. But the problem is the penalty. They will definitely going to slap penalty, and the penalty is a real pain, because that case they can charge anything between 100% of your tax to 300% of your tax. I'm not scaring you. This is a law. You can search on Google, you can read. Now everything is open, and that you should avoid. Like saving some 3 lakh rupees taxes, if I end up paying 12 lakh rupees of penalty or 9 lakh rupees of penalty, is it you can say good idea? I will say no. Okay, so that's one thing is clear, that you cannot just spoof away income tax department, and lots of people are doing, I know, but it's only matter of time. Because the one more bad thing about the NRIs are that their cases can be opened up to 14 years, while for the resident they can open only up to 4 years. So this is again a deal breaker. Now you assume, what if you receive something after 14 years, you don't even know where is your documents, your calculations, maybe you already retired and you don't know even where is your CDC. And most of the time it happens when because I handle litigations also, notices also, demand notices. Let's time I receive this kind of you can say notices, and when I ask for document, the people simply surrender, say it is 10 years back case. Friend, I have moved 3 times in that period and I don't have anything. So that time it will be very difficult to defend you, right? So the better idea, if you see, is just comply the tax laws. Now we are on the very first question, how to calculate your resident status. So so this is the sheet I have created. I will share this sheet. You can simply save this sheet. So you will not be able to do any edit because this is my sheet. You can simply go, you can save this, or you can download this, and then you can work out on this sheet. You can simply say make a copy, and then you can save and you can work out. So friends, if I say simply for resident status, there are 2 major conditions, which I will say condition 1 and condition 2, and in each condition there are some 2 part condition, or you can say sub conditions. So first condition test you whether you are resident or non-resident. Okay, so for being a non-resident, of course we will talk about non-resident. Now one important part, if I talk about law, especially in law, it is given how to be resident. Now you understand, nobody want to be resident. Why I want to be resident? I have to pay 30% tax. So I have to read that law in opposite direction. So I am explaining this in opposite direction. Please and one more disclosure I want to do. This video is not for legal interference. So please, none of my chartered accountant, lawyer, please call me and say no, you are talking something wrong. I am reading the law in reverse direction because I want to qualify as a non-resident, and hope this is clear, because this video is intent for real users and I am using non-technical words. So first part, you have to say that you should be staying out India at least minimum 185 days, because if you stay less than that, then you are going to stay in India more than 180 days. So if you're going to stay in India more than 180 days, first condition met, that you are going to be resident. So you are going to stay outside India minimum 185 days. So after there are 365 days. So in 365 days, only 180 days you are allowed to stay in India. So minimum you should stay outside India at least 185 days. This is the first condition. Second condition is and. Now in a real law it is or, but here we have to add because we are reading is opposite direction. So part B basically giving 2 sub conditions, condition 1, subcondition 1, subcondition 2, and it says that you have to stay 180 days. Earlier it was 60 days, now it is changed to 180 days for merchant navy people. So 180 days you have to stay in India, and you should not stay more than 365 days in preceding 4 years. Now preceding means, if suppose I am talking about 2021-22, like 1st April 2021 to 31st March 2022, this is your base year when you are going to calculate your resident status. So after that you have to calculate the last 4 years, which will start of course from 2020, 2020 and 21, and you have to go below 3 years. You have to add all the numbers of days you are staying in India, and this should not be more than 365 days. Okay, so basically in last 3 years you cannot stay more than 365 days in India, and you should not stay more than 180 days in India. This is the second condition. When these both conditions met, you are non-resident, you don't have to pay any taxes. Okay, so part 1, part 2 matched, you are NRI, you don't have to pay any taxes on whatever income you are earning outside India. Still you have to pay taxes on your rent received, interest received, or whatever any other income you are receiving in India. But whatever you are earning as a seafarer, as a merchant navy person, as a mariner, you don't have to pay any taxes in India. Now if part 1 only matched or no part matched, then of course you are a resident. But again, congratulations, because you are building nation and you should be proud of that. As I'm not saying, the income tax department is saying that, and so if no part matched, again the same situation prevails. So this is the first condition, which you can consider as a primary condition, which tells you whether you are resident or you are not non-resident. In this sheet you can simply fill up the data from your CDC. In the blue, whatever the blue marked columns are marked, you can put up the data and you can see how many days you are outside India. If these conditions are matching, then you are you can just qualify as a resident. Once you qualify as a non-resident or resident, once you qualify as a non-resident, then this matter ends here. The High Court judgment is there. So if I talk like this, the condition 1 is a High Court and condition 2 is Supreme Court. So if High Court itself gives you a favorable judgment, you will not go to Supreme Court. So matter will end there. But suppose the High Court says you are resident and you don't want to be resident, you don't want to pay taxes, then you can again appeal to Supreme Court. And Supreme Court is condition number 2, which says that you can be you are resident, but you can be a ordinary resident, you can be a non-ordinary resident. Now what is the benefit of being non-ordinary resident or resident but not ordinary resident? Nothing. Simple thing, if you become on NOR or RNOR, you still can enjoy the same benefit as an NRI. I will not get into detail, but basically this NOR RNOR is for those people who are coming back to India after working maybe you can say years abroad. Okay, so to give this benefit, if somebody is coming outside from India, even after settling down to India, they can enjoy the NRI benefit up to 3 years. So this is the condition they are made for people to call back their beloved nationals back to India, and you can also use this benefit. Suppose you are a resident and you think that okay fine, let's try the Supreme Court conditions, and Supreme Court again have 2 conditions, part A, part B. So part A says 9 out of 10 you get the score. That means out of last 10 years, 9 years you should qualify as a resident. Okay. Second condition says you should not stay more than 729 days in India in last 7 years. Now if you double this 365 into 2, it is almost 730, and you have to stay not more than 729 days in India in last 7 years. So these conditions are OR conditions, these are not AND conditions. So any one condition match, you will qualify as a RNOR or on NOR, and in both conditions you are going to be treated as a non-resident. That means your foreign income will not be taxable. And if you don't qualify any of this condition, of course welcome, you are resident, you are building the nation. That's the income tax department says. Now certain things you have to understand before you do. First thing, you can count days from your CDC directly, you don't have to check your passport. CDC is more than enough to calculate that. Second thing, if you have any confusion, please take off help of some professional. I already talk about that what can be risk and reward if you try to avoid some consulting fees. Then the income tax department has huge fees to just tell the same thing, which a chartered accountant can tell you, especially a person like me can tell you in maybe 1,000 or 2,000 rupees. They will take some 1-2 lakh rupees to teach you the same thing, to tell you the same thing. Then no boss, you are wrong, you are a resident, you have to pay taxes. Anyhow, second thing, don't hide. As I told you, they have data of your passport and your CDC. Okay, it's a passport, so I will check it, change it to passport. Okay, so don't try to spoof away. Fourth thing, filing is better return. I will talk about this topic later also. Then replying notices. So of course you understand the cost benefit analysis here also. And the concern is not about taxes. Most people think, okay, what they will do, they will come and they will take the taxes. So anyhow, let's take the chance, maybe 50% I will save my taxes. So this is not the thing. They will not, the tax is not a worry. The worry is the penalty which they can put it, okay, for misdeclaration or filing a wrong return. So friends, from here the resident part is very much clear. I know I have taken slightly more time, but it is more, you can say, confusing part. On lots of time people come to me to calculate only this resident thing, and this is a good idea actually. So that's first thing. Before I go forward and take the second most important question they ask, let me tell you, see, if you have any other query, you can of course reach out to me, and I have given my this thing on all. And if you want any other if you have any other query which I should address, you please put in comment section, which is a concern of most of the merchant navy people or mariners. I will try to make a video on that also. Let's take the question number 2. Now question number 2, which generally merchant navy people ask to me, so I'm receiving my salary in my Indian account, which is most of cases they sometimes receive in saving account also. Is it going to be taxable? So the answer is no. Tax is always on earning and accrual, not on receipt. So you are earning your income outside India, you're just receiving your money in India, so it will not be taxable. But a good idea, a better idea, and a practical idea, not to receive that money in your saving account. You open a NRO account and receive that money in that account. Okay, it's because if you receive in saving account, it can be create a confusion with the income tax department that it's a saving account, that the fellow is receiving so much money and he's not filing the return, so let's send a notice. So you will get a notice. Of course you can settle the notice, but you have to pay a very good fees to some chartered accountant like me to do that. So better, if you want to avoid that, get your money in NRO account. Question number 3, which generally they ask, so it's not a question, it's basically a mass confusion between the you can say merchant navy personals, that should we file our return? We are abroad, we are not getting some income, should we file our return? So if I talk about pure legal theory, then no, you don't have to file return if your income, Indian income, is not more than 2.5 lakh rupees. But let me talk to some practical law, practical income tax act, how it is work. So if you are working abroad, you have some other income, I feel you should file return without fail. Why? Because what happened, sometime initially when you start working, there is no much income, okay, then you suddenly buy some house, you have got some FD, you got some shares, and you just sometime forget that you are receiving some Indian income, and sometime by the time you realize that you are receiving some income which is more than 2.5 lakh rupees, you don't file, you forget to file your return, and then you got a notice. Now let me tell you, from a litigation chartered accountant point, I take litigation also, I take notices, I deal with notices and demand notices and all. If you hire any chartered accountant who is good in handling the notices, anything he can charge between 30,000 to 50,000, maybe 1 lakh rupees depending on the case. So if I do the cost and benefit analysis, is it not making more sense to pay 1-2,000 rupees and file return, then get a notice and reply that notice and pay 30,000 rupees along with I am going to get involved myself as well, which most of time is not feasible. So the better idea, even you don't have income, make it a practice to file your income tax return. It's just once in a year affair, and in our case, if you say, you just have to send one mail in 1 year and just simply say, this is my bank statement, this is my income. Most of your income, Indian income, are reflected in your 26 AS, so you don't need to send about that. You just have to send your bank statement and your tax savings, whatever tax savings you had done in India, and your team can file the return, so you are tension free. So of course, if you just ask about theoretical questions, then people give you lots of section and all, but I will give you straight away a practical answer. File your return, whatever the case, whether you have 2.5 lakh rupees of income or not, to avoid the future headache. Because future, once you're going to get settled down here after 13-14 years of service and you want to enjoy some peaceful life, you will not like to have that every year, some 10 years back, some notice is coming, something else is coming, and you are just breaking your head, right? You really want to enjoy a peaceful life, then just this is a small cost of peace, and file your return and stay, you can say, stress free. So this is third question which generally most of time people ask me. Let me take you the most asked question, to question number 4. Now generally this question asks, sir, I have taken my house but it is on my spouse name, and I am taking rent also on her name, so is it not her income? So let me tell, so basically what you do, you people generally, because you are outside and you don't have time to manage all these things, most of your savings and investments are on your wife name so that she can manage it independently without your signature and all. So practicality, it's good. But if I say, see, income can be transferred but tax cannot be transferred. So you can transfer your money, you can invest on your wife name, but if it is your money, the income on the tax on main income, which is your your whatever you're receiving as a merchant navy person, is tax free. But whatever you are investing with that money, if you are getting some investment income, some rent, some dividend, that is taxable, and that is going to be taxable on your name. The another good thing can be, you can give gift to your wife. Okay, it can be irrevocable gift. Of course, you are not going to take back in future, so you can give a gift and you can have some small gift deed, and then you can transfer money to your wife, and that can be taxable on her name. So the better way to draft a gift deed before you just transfer the money and then she's doing investment or RD or FD and she's getting returns. Even you filing return on her name, but it is not correct when the notice will be there, because it's your income you have earned, and if you earn the income, the tax on investment made using that income is yours, not on your wife, not on your father's name or some other family member's name. So transfer of income is possible, transfer of tax is not possible. This is all, remember. Easy way, I told you, get a gift deed. You can sign gift deed every year also, or you cannot sign a standard gift deed, which is, can say, I will pay gift to my wife 50,000 every month or 50 lakhs every year. It's not like that. So every year you have to draft a gift deed, but this is a small thing you have to do. Then you can claim that I have given gift to my wife, and out of natural love and affection. Of course, everybody has natural love and affection towards wife, so I have given, and now I'm not going to take back. Even something happens, she takes divorce with me, it's her income. Of course, you have to assume this risk with you. This is going to be with you always. So if in case, I pray to God nobody will face that kind of situation, but it is a reality in modern world also. So if something is going to happen like that, you cannot claim that money as your money because you have already gifted to your wife. So hope this question is also very well resolved. Now friends, I will take the last question which is generally asked to me, and the question is, sir, which IT return I should file, and should I declare my income as a salary or as a business and profession? Okay, so let me give you a very straightforward answer for that also. You're working in a company. In most of the cases I have seen, there is no salary agreement. So if there is salary agreement with your employer, with the ship you are employed, you have to file as a income, as a salary income. But again, your income will go in exempt section. So if you are declaring as a salary income, you can file ITR 1. If you are declaring as a business income, you can file ITR 3 or ITR 4. But again, I will say here, you have to do a cost benefit analysis. If you know all about these taxes, of course you can file your return. But if you are novice in that and just reading the Google, so with Google Gyan, I think it will be very dangerous to file return yourself, and better you give it to some professional who can file a return properly. And I will not say, again, I'm not promoting myself or my firm, but simply what we have created here, every year you just have to send a document and our team file and keep all the returns on a Google Drive, which is shared with you, and anytime in the year, anywhere from the world, you can download that return. So it's so simple to maintain your all data at one place, and you can take access, because our firm hosts all the data on cloud. Of course, this is a secured cloud, it's a paid cloud, it's not a free cloud, and only person who is authorized, they can only take access of that. So this way, if suppose I can make a return, I don't understand much why, if I'm earning maybe 1 lakh rupees or 2 lakh rupees per month, why I'm going to break my head to save 2,500. Of course, and maybe in 2500 rupees, if I say when I do something naughty in the return, and then the income tax department come back to knocking on my door, it will not be a wise decision, right? So but if still, because I am making this video, I have to tell the this thing. So you can, if it's a salary arrangement with your employer, you can file as a ITR 1. If it is a business arrangement, you can file as ITR 3. Of course, both cases you have to show that in a exempt income, and along with that you have to check your 26 AS, where you have to see all the other income you have received, plus you have to scan your income you can say your bank statement, and see if there is any income or expenses which should be reported. One more thing I forget to tell you, friends, when you file ITR return, it's not only income when you file a return or not. Okay, it is, there are certain other condition also, like if somebody is spending more than 2 lakh rupees in credit card, somebody has a foreign trip and spent it some good amount in foreign trip, nice cozy foreign trip they had. Okay, then somebody has bought us property, somebody which is more than 1 crore, somebody so there are certain this kind of condition also under which you have to file the return. It's a mandatory to file return. Whatever may be your income may be zero, but you have spent these kind of expenses or you have acquired some assets, then you have to file the return. So again, the same thing I'm conclusion making here. It is better idea to file return every year instead of checking all these conditions which keep changing every year, and then expose ourselves of getting unnecessary notices or unnecessary inquiries. So hope friends, I have answered most of your famous or frequently asked questions and queries, and if you have any other queries which is a general query, put in the comment section and me and my team will come back and reply to that without any charges. But if it is very generic, your proprietary question, your personal question, there are personal data involved, please send on the mail ID which again I'm mentioning here. Okay, and if you are not very fond of sending mails and you are using WhatsApp, then this is a WhatsApp number you can send. This is of course my support team's WhatsApp number. They will forward these questions to me, and if it's a straightforward question, I will not go in charge. But if it is something which require my time, you can understand, of course I'm also a professional, and I'm end of the day I also have to pay my bills, so I will charge some nominal amount as a fees from you. So that's all friends in this video. Has become quite lengthy, but hope it has solved a lot of questions and saved a lot of consulting fees also for you, so you will excuse me for that. Till the time, I'm also going to make some other videos about the investment related to NRI, especially the mariners, what kind of investment they do. So stay tuned and keep watching this video. That's all. Thank you. Have a nice day.